Between southeastern Asia and Australia lie the islands of the East Indies. One of the richest of these is Java, the world's most densely populated tropical island. Our soil is because of the minerals in it that make plants grow. These minerals come from the ashes of Java's many volcanoes. We can raise crops all through the year because we are close to the equator and there is no cold season. By farming every possible foot of land from sea level almost to the tops of our mountains, we can ship many products abroad and at the same time provide food for our own 50 million people. Although most of our people are farmers, millions work in our towns and cities. In our warm climate, it is not unusual to find open-air workshops where women spin thread for the light cotton clothes we wear. We are known all over the world for the skillful way we print delicate patterns on cloth. This ancient handicraft is called batik. Our silverware is also widely known. Javanese silver is decorated with patterns that were designed thousands of years ago. In our restaurants and homes, the main dish served at every meal is rice. For rice is the most plentiful and nourishing of the foods raised on our island. No one tires of eating it, for rice can be mixed with meat, fish, vegetables, and sauces flavored with hot pepper, sweet cinnamon, and many other spices which we grow. Our music dates back to ancient times. Throughout Java are many monuments of our old civilization. One of the most magnificent of these is the ruined temple of Borobudur, built more than 1,000 years ago to honor Buddha. Long ago, our people believed fire gods lived in volcanoes and that whenever the gods were angry, they punished the people with destruction. Today, there are 35 active volcanoes on our island. These volcanoes have brought us more wealth than destruction because their ashes are rich in minerals and have made our soil fertile. Volcanoes erupt when the tremendous pressure of hot gases from deep inside the earth forces molten rock, called lava, through weak places in the earth's crust. Java's railroads connect the cities on the coast with the highlands of the interior. The trains bring supplies up to the farms and plantations along the mountain slopes, and later take crops and products back down to the seacoast. On a mountainous island like ours, flat land for farming is limited. Long ago, Javanese farmers carved huge steps or terraces out of the sides of the mountains to make more level land for crops. This is called terrace farming and is practiced in many other parts of the world where flat land is scarce. The terraces keep the heavy rains from washing the soil away. Even the grass that grows along the sides of our vegetable gardens is not wasted. It is fed to animals. In our fertile volcanic earth and tropical sunshine, vegetables grow quickly, and we raise several crops a year. The trains which travel up and down the mountains of our country pick up different kinds of crops at different elevations. Half a mile above the sea are some of our large plantations. Of great importance to the people in many lands are our cinchona forests, a major source of quinine, the drug used to cure the deadly fever of malaria. More quinine comes from our small island than from any other part of the world. After the trunks and branches have been cut into pieces, the bark which contains the quinine is removed. As soon as a cinchona grove has been cut down, a new one is started. The young trees are brought from a nursery, where they have been protected from the hot sun and heavy rains. So that the new trees will yield more quinine, we graft a twig from an old tree onto the young. In sheds, the cinchona bark is dried and crushed into powder. The station near the cinchona plantation is the highest point on the railroad line. From here, the train begins its descent. The bales of crushed cinchona bark will go to factories in the cities where the quinine will be extracted. At about the same elevation as the cinchona forests, our railroads pass other plantations on which tea is grown. The tea shrubs grow well here because the sun is hot and there is plenty of rain. The youngest leaves make the best tea. The baskets of tea leaves are light in weight and are carried by the women to the processing plants. At the factory, the leaves are rolled and dried in ovens. The dried leaves are then sorted according to size. The tea is packed in cases sealed with tin foil to keep out the dampness and protect the fine flavor of the leaves. The chests of tea are sent down to the cities for shipment to other lands. The train continues on its way down from the highlands, loaded with bales of cinchona and chests of tea. About 1,000 feet below the tea plantations, the climate grows warmer, but not extremely hot. Here our people raise sisal. These sisal plants look like clusters of swords. In the pointed leaves are long threads or fibers. The leaves are harvested and taken to a factory which serves several neighboring plantations. The leaves are first sorted according to size and then put through a machine which scrapes off the outer covering. Only the fibers remain. The short, useless threads are removed, and then the long fibers are trimmed. The sisal fibers will be made into rope and twine. More crowded now with passengers and freight, the train soon passes groves of cacao trees. The fruit of the cacao tree is a pod containing the beans from which cocoa and chocolate are made. The workers tap the pods to make sure they are ripe. Cacao trees have some ripe pods the year round. The pods are carried to a clearing where they are cracked open. When the beans are scooped out, they are covered with a wet, sugary pulp. They must be spread out in the sun until the pulp has dried away. When they are dry, the beans have the brown color of cocoa. Along roads and between the fields are trees which bear a fruit that looks like a milkweed pod. The inside of the pod is filled with a soft, silky fiber called kapok. Kapok is light and stays fluffy even when it gets wet. It is used to stuff pillows, mattresses, and life preservers. The kapok is brought to a large tent made of netting, where the feather-like fibers are shaken free of the seeds. On the last lap of the journey, the train finally reaches sea level. It is hot and damp here in the lowlands, an excellent climate for growing rice. Our fields yield 3 crops a year, and we eat most of the rice we raise. The harvesting is largely done by women, who cut the stalks with a small knife. The threshing is done by hand because there are so many people and so few machines. If everyone is needed in the fields for picking, the stalks are bundled and stacked until they can be threshed later. Once the harvest is over and the fields cleared, the ground is prepared for the next crop. The irrigation ditches are opened, and the farmers start plowing with their water buffaloes. Between plantings, the rice paddies are stocked with fish. When the season is on, everyone is a fisherman. In the hot lowlands, we also grow sugarcane. Our small island is one of the world's greatest suppliers of sugar. Like quinine, sisal, and tea, most of our sugar is grown on large plantations. The canes reach their full growth in the rainy season and are cut when the weather is dry. The soil and climate of our damp, hot lowlands are suitable for still another valuable crop, rubber. Almost half of the world's supply comes from Java. Planted in great plantations, the rubber trees are tapped for their sap, which is called latex. When the cups are full, a tom-tom signals workers to hurry the latex to the collection station. For in the heat and dampness of our lowlands, the sap will quickly spoil. The fresh latex is strained into vats. Acids are added which make the liquid thick and spongy. This is raw rubber. The raw rubber is cut into chunks which can be handled easily. At the plantation's rail siding, the rubber is loaded aboard the train with all the other products of our mountainsides and lowland fields. The journey from the mountains down to the sea is coming to an end. Java's railroads connect the mountains and the seacoast cities. The island's largest city and most important harbor is Batavia. Batavia is a crowded city. In the old part, people even live on houseboats and sampans in the narrow canals. There is a modern part of Batavia, too, with large buildings and wide streets. This part of Batavia, who directed the government of our island for many years and who developed its resources. Dutch, English, and American companies own most of our large plantations, and a great deal of our commerce and trade is carried on by foreigners. The ships that bring us goods from other lands take to the world the products we have made in workshops and factories and grown in the rich soil of our tropical mountain island, Java.